Who knew that school supplies could be so different and be a culture shock between the USA and Germany? That's what we're talking about in today's video.
One of my favorite things is the Federmäppchen.
Federmäppchen. So hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. We're the McFalls, or at least half of the McFalls. I'm Sarah.
I'm Grayson.
And I'm Kevin.
And we're a family of 6 with 4 kids,
a cat, and 2 hamsters. So, funny story. So when we were on vacation in Croatia, we had a neighbor watch Ginger, our hamster. And I forgot to tell them that if you don't close the cage really well, that Ginger can push it open. And she did, and she escaped. And Ginger has been gone for like 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
And
no sign of her, no trace.
No trace of poor Ginger.
And she's been stealing Peanut's food.
Yes, she's been hiding in the basement, stealing the cat's food and storing it in a giant pile in the corner, and has been living for 3 weeks way down in the basement. So we're now the proud owners of 2 hamsters. Yes,
I was down in the laundry room and was like poking around in some boxes, and I heard and I screamed and said, "Kevin, there's a rat or a mouse living here, oh my gosh!"
It was Ginger.
And then I saw a little figure come out from underneath the boxes, and I recognized it as our hamster right away. And I was like, then I started screaming, "Everybody come down quick! Ginger's back! Oh my gosh, she's alive!" We were so shocked.
Back on topic, we're here to talk about school supplies. Our kids are going back to school in 2 days from now, and we have to get all the stuff for them to take to school. And, you know, we've talked about some of this before, but we've never really gone into a deep dive, all the different things. And it's not just a question of getting the right things, but knowing how to use them. There's different hefts that are used for different purposes. So when the teacher says your homework is to put this in your Aufsatzhefte, then I'm not even sure which one that is or where you put it.
And the kids weren't sure either at first.
Right. So we've got Grayson here to tell us a little bit about one example, like in his German class last year, of all the different hefts that he had, all the different notebooks that he had for his German class. So Grayson, in your German class, you had different notebooks for different things. Which the one you have right there?
Yeah, so I have 3 different ones. This one that I have in my hand is the Deutsch Grammatik. I think, yeah, that's where I do all the grammatic stuff in.
So put all the rules
and some, for example, over here, let me find one, if I can even find one.
Such neatness.
Like this. I also do some little Merkkastens from the book. Like I copy that from the book, and it's stuff to remember.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you've got little charts here.
Yep. And then
all the different grammar rules.
And you can see that's from the book. It says Seite 202. So most of this is from the book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Another little Kasten thing. Regelkasten.
Alrighty.
Okay, then what other hefts do you have?
So the next one that I have is an Aufsatzheft, and I write
essays.
Yeah, like essays stuff. Like for example, let's see, like right here. I have that's just a bunch
See,
of
and isn't that interesting? He knows the word Aufsatz, but not essay, because he's learning these things in German and doesn't know the English word to it.
Yeah.
So let's see, like this, a little essay type thing right there. That's a little one. Well, that's water stains. Haven't noticed that.
That's okay.
Oops. Yeah. So this is basically just my essay book and a bunch of other things. I've seen a bunch of Stichpunkte all over. So like where
bullet
part
points.
Of the
bullet
neatness.
points, yes. Bullet points.
Stichste, huh?
Stichpunkte.
Oh, Stichpunkte.
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 Yes, it's a CH.
Stich.
Sticht.
Stichpunkte.
Stich. This could go on forever. Stichpunkte.
Good enough.
Oh, I'm trying.
All right.
Wow, this is so neat and orderly. I mean, you can really see the...
Well, except for those spots. But
make
it's
mistakes
because
sometimes.
probably because of the fountain pen, because it always splatters ink everywhere.
But it says prima.
I know, but it's probably not because of the Rechtschreibung, but because of the
Content.
The content.
Yeah.
And what do you write essays about?
Like, I don't know, practicing for Schulaufgabes, because we do
Okay.
she said that we're only doing essays for a Schulaufgabe. So,
So you just are given prompts and you have to write things and that sort of stuff on your tests.
yeah, like she gives us a little piece of paper and that says, it has a little story that says what you're supposed to write about.
And this topic came up in the last video when we were talking about school culture shocks between the USA and Germany. And we were saying how neatness and handwriting is so much more emphasized. And it was great because we had a few teachers pop in and say the reason why neatness is so important is because so many of the tests are written tests, just like this. And in the US, we have a lot more multiple choice where you can just color in a bubble, which is true. And like checking of boxes, or, they can put them through a scanner and they're easily graded electronically. So in Germany, there's still a lot more written tests. So,
Graded, and they have to be able to read it to be able to grade it.
and I think it's just more important culturally or something.
And what's this third one you got?
So
Grayson?
the third one is a Deutsch Heft. So I have a Deutsch Grammatik and a Deutsch Heft. Not quite sure what the difference is. It's just, I guess, the Grammatik.
And is this one like for taking notes in from class, or what do you put in this?
I'm not
Deutsch
quite
Heft?
sure. I see some essay type stuff too. Yeah, it feels like it's I don't know.
Is this like an Übungsheft? Are you doing exercises in it?
I don't know. I haven't observed.
Yeah, right.
I've just written them in the books that she's told me to
She
write
said,
them in.
do this in that book, do this in that book. Yeah, sure.
So Grayson, did you find at first that it was difficult to keep up with which heft you're supposed to write this in? And...
Well, she told us, so that wasn't that hard. But when I went, like, with math, I only have 2 different hefts, and I know that in my Übungsheft, I put, like, everything with school.
Practice.
And then the Schulheft is, like, where I put all of my notes in about, like, she writes down what we should write down. And then we just copy that off, what she writes. And it's called the Schulheft or the Hefteinträge Heft. So the Hefteinträge are like the notes and stuff.
And that's for math.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be other classes too. Do you have Inträge you do for other classes as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So a few months ago when you were still in school, did it feel a lot easier at the end than it did at the beginning when you had started gymnasium?
I don't know. Well, obviously it was a different school, so I might have felt less comfortable or something like that because it's a new school.
Because you were in 5th grade.
Yeah.
So either way, it would have been a new school, whether you're German or American. It didn't matter. Yeah.
Okay.
But your German was pretty good by that point, so you were able to keep up.
Understand.
Yeah.
Okay, Grayson, thank you for being here with us. We appreciate
You're welcome.
it. Bye.
You can give Mama that microphone back.
Bye. Bye.
So the first thing was hefts. That's a big difference. We don't even have those notebooks in the U.S.
No.
Really? They just have...
Well, they would use composition notebooks a lot. We bought a lot of composition
notebooks. We did
notebooks.
do those, yeah.
You know, as you can see, there's lots of different terms for these different things and the different ways you use them. So you have Übungshefts, which is where you do your exercises. Now, sometimes it might be called a Schulheft, where you're putting the Übung or the exercises that you do in school, and you might have another Hausheft for your homework. And apparently this depends a little bit on the teacher, and some teachers might call them one versus the other. So you got Übungsheft, Hausheft, and Schulheft. The Schulheft might also be for taking notes or Inträge. So basically you've got Übungshefts and you've got Inträge-Hefts for doing exercises versus notes. And then depending on whether it's for in school or whether it's homework, they might give them different names.
Yes, Hausaufgabe-Heft.
Right. Okay. Well, now the Hausaufgabe-Heft is different. The Hausaufgabe-Heft is for marking what your homework is. not actually doing the homework. So that's where you write, on this day, I have this homework in this class. So that's what the Hausaufgabe Heft is. And that's usually an A5 size piece. So then there's a few other types of hefts as well. You have a Vokabelheft, which in your foreign languages, English and French for Gabriel, English for Grayson, there's obviously you put your vocabulary. So you keep a list of all your vocabulary. And then there's also a Notenheft that's for your music class. And so you have a special one that has the bars, music bars that you can write music in. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then also there's a Schnellheft, which I like this one. This one's fun. The fun name is Schnellheft, for quickly doing things. And that's where when you get your loose leaf paper, if you're like having something that you hand out on a page, then you punch holes in it and quickly attach it into your heft. So you've got that Schnellheft as well. Mm-hmm. So these are all hefts, or notebooks that they're writing things in. Then they also have their class books or their textbooks, okay? And so there's just, I guess they just call it a Buch for the textbook. So then they have Arbeitsbuch and Arbeitsheft. Okay. And those are workbooks. Now, I'm still not sure about this, but I think the difference between an Arbeitsbuch and an Arbeitsheft, the content is the same. The boys don't seem to see a difference between the content, but the Buch maybe has a hardcover and the Heft maybe is a soft cover one. And so I think that's the difference between the two, but just not really sure. Still one of those things that we're trying to figure out. So when it comes to the hefts and choosing the right ones, there's several different things you have to think about. One of them is the size. So this is an A4 size, and the A5 size is half that size. And like the Hausaufgaben Heft, that's where you write in your homework, that's in the smaller size. But most of the work they do are in this. Then there's even the A3. Sometimes they need the big ones for their art classes. They have the big blocks for the art classes. Mm-hmm. So first you got to get the size right. Mm-hmm. And then there's kariert versus lineart. Okay? And so the kariert is grids. So it's like graph paper. Mm-hmm. And then the lineart is with lines. Now you do have to be careful on the lined ones. There's different distances between the lines for the different grade levels. So you have to be a little careful but many grades use the same ones. And so I haven't had anyone complain to me yet that the lines were not the right distance apart. So I'm not sure, but I do know different classes use different distance lines. Then the other piece you have to do is figure out the margins. And so that's with the Rand, mit oder ohne Rand. And it's not just whether it has margins or doesn't have margins, it's where the margins are. Okay. So this one here, this number 27, it has margins both on the left and the right. And sometimes you only need them on the outside and not on both sides. Okay. Then there's also umlaufender Rand. Okay.
I mean, this is a huge culture shock.
Yeah, this is
in
huge.
the US, the composition notebooks are either college ruled or what is it called?
Just regular, I guess.
Just regular, and then there's college ruled for when you're in college.
And that's sometimes high school.
That's it. Right. This just really goes to show how very detailed and well thought out the German pedagogical, standards or education techniques that teachers are taught in universities. They must have done a lot of research on how children's writing gets smaller and smaller and smaller as they get older and older and older. And so, I mean, are there like labs here in Germany that we don't know about? Are there testing labs to see like their handwriting and their numbers? And I mean, this is fascinating. It's very, very detailed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
so, so this one has the umlaufende Rand that goes all the way around. And this is good because it's good actually for us to learn German too. Umlaufendem, so around running. Around running is all the way around the outside of the page. Then the last decision to make when you're getting the right heft is whether it's a thick one or a thin one. Typically, they have either 32 pages or 16 pages. And so sometimes they'll want the smaller ones. Sometimes they'll want the bigger ones. So, what's really interesting, of course, in good German organization style, there's a number for each one of these
Yes.
hefts. And so,
Phew, thank goodness.
But the thing is they don't always use it. Like this is the list for Griffin's 4th grade. And on the list it says Heft din A4 mit Rand links und rechts. Okay? Lineatur für die 4. Klasse. Okay? And okay, it's all written out there, but if you know what you're talking about, that's a number 27. Okay? And so why didn't they just put their 27?
Number 27.
That would be so much easier because I think in the...
Maybe she's had parents complain or something.
Maybe.
Who knows?
But it seems in the gymnasium, when they are told, they're given what number to choose. And so I don't know if it's a difference between Grundschule and this particular gymnasium. I don't know. But that makes it really easy. Now, you know, when I first went to the store to get these, it was very busy. And the lady that works there, she, of course, knows everything. And, you know, but she was really busy.
Little Dorf, we have an awesome Schreib. What do you call it?
Schreibwaren.
Yeah. Schreibwaren or
yeah. And so
awesome.
she was really busy at that time. And so I couldn't really ask her. And I got the list. She had the list, actually. She collected all of the different classes lists and she printed it out for me. And then I came home and I figured out, oh, well, that one's number 27. This one's 40, etc. And then when I went back, she was actually there. And then she's like, well, let me help you. What do you need? And then I'm like, I need this. And I'm like, that's a 27, right? She's like, yep, that's 27. You know, she knows them all.
And this is a very important point for foreigners who are coming to Germany. When we first arrived, there was COVID lockdowns. We couldn't even go to a Schreibwaren and get any help. We had to do it all on our own through the internet because everything was shut down. So obviously those are incredibly unusual circumstances. So foreigners coming now to Germany from here on out, hopefully that'll never happen again. But you can just go to a local Schreibwaren, which is basically a school supply store. It's not just school supplies, though.
Yeah.
It's
stationery.
Yeah.
Well, this one has little
books.
gifts and stuff.
Yeah, this thing is so cute. It's really nice. Really high class. I really like it. It has all kinds of different little things. Art supplies, crafting supplies. You can just give them your list, or you just, if you're going to a local store, they'll have your list. They're likely to have your list.
Right.
So if you're like looking at your list going, oh my God, I have no idea what to do. Like, this is so confusing. Just hand them your list.
And, you know, they also do like a service where you can just say, hey, here's my list. You know, you give it to them ahead of time and then they'll package it together and then you go and pick it up.
And then give you a call or, say come in a few days or whatever.
Then I think one of my favorite things is the Federmäppchen.
Federmäppchen.
And the Federmäppchen takes...
Now wait, isn't Federmäppchen plural? A Federmappe. Guys, this is confusing because Federmäppchen means cute or tiny, right?
Yes.
Chin.
And I think can be both singular and plural with the chin on it, I think.
Okay.
But if it's Federmappe, that's singular.
That's definitely singular.
And then Federmäppe, I think is
the plural without the chin.
Without the chin.
Woo!
But
so this is a Federmäppe. I know I'm not saying that really well.
They all call them Federmäppchen. They always call them with the chin on it.
That's true. So
I don't know. But
what is correct, guys? I know you're going to love getting into detail about this in the comments below. So please let us know. Federmäppe. Federmäppchen. These were a totally new concept to us. All we have in the US, this is Ella's pencil case, and it's just
simple.
There's nothing. There's no compartments inside. It's just you dump your stuff in.
And that's what she needs as a Vorschulkind?
Yeah, so Ella needed this as a Vorschulkind, but now I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to look it up and put it on here on the screen. When we went to the store, Ella was hoping she could get a Federmäppchen.
Because her brothers have them.
All her brothers have one. And she thinks they're so fun to organize all your little pencils. She wants it all organized like this. So she was disappointed that her teachers only wanted her to get this.
Yeah.
She was sad. She was like, Mommy, I want the whole thing.
And so this can hold everything. Got their pencil sharpener, a little ruler. Then we've already talked about how they use the colored pencils quite a lot.
Yeah, they use them a lot in schoolwork. So go check out our video from last week.
And then colored pens as well. Okay. And then the good old fountain pen, we've talked about this many times.
Yeah. Americans would be shocked by
with real
this.
ink, and it runs everywhere, and it's struggle to keep it clean.
Now I'm curious, in other parts of Germany, do you guys also use fountain pens? Maybe in the north they don't. They do seem to be a lot more progressive and not as traditional, and especially in Berlin, the Bundesland of Berlin. So let us know. Do you use a fountain pen there?
And then their eraser, and then for art class, they have to have several different kinds of paintbrushes. Fine ones, thick ones, all sorts.
You
of
never
different
buy
ones.
these in the U.S. yourself. The art teacher has them, and you just use what the art teacher has. So that was really different.
And then there's the thing watercolors.
Something for you.
So that's their little watercolor set that they use for art.
Yeah, and again in the U.S., these would be provided by the art teacher, who probably buys them herself.
Probably does.
Right?
Yeah. Almost certainly.
Don't even get us started on that. Actually, tell us in the comments below, are German teachers known for having to buy some of their own school supplies? I would really love to know that, because in the U.S., that's a huge problem. The teachers are not paid very much as it is, and then they have to buy so much to decorate their rooms and make their rooms look nice.
And the supplies and everything. And they ask in the beginning of the year for parents to please help and bring in
paper and
Kleenexes and
Kleenex.
I mean, they're not even supplied Kleenexes by the school.
You guys, it's ridiculous. They do not support teachers. Yeah. The state and local governments don't. It's up to the parents to help support the teachers, which I'm totally happy doing since they don't get help. But it just seems like our tax money should be used for that. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
And teachers don't like it either.
No.
Yeah, so to get all of the school culture shocks, this was just one part of them, guys. Just one part of more than 10 school shocks we had when we first moved here. Make sure to go check out our video from 2 weeks ago. I'll link it in the description box below. So yeah, the school supplies was a very surprising culture shock that we were not expecting until we got the lists.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times in those first 4 months that we got messages from the teachers. You don't have this. This is wrong. Fix this. He has to have this. And even when, like I said, we're getting the instructions when it was online to say, do this in the Arbeitsheft.
Yeah, because school was online.
And all of the abbreviations,
yes, so many of the hefts have abbreviations.
Yes.
If you're not from Germany, you don't have a freaking clue what these abbreviations
And I felt so bad. I was like, the teacher would write in shorthand what they were supposed to do, and I get it back
to save her time.
And I have to write back, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I have no idea. What does this mean, and what does that mean, and all the abbreviations and all this stuff, and just being able to figure out how to get our kids to do the right work in the right book was so much.
Yeah, it was really hard. And it was really stressful the first 4 or 5 months. But again, that probably was because of COVID.
Yeah.
And I think probably in bigger cities where there's a lot more foreigners, the teachers may be accustomed to not writing in shorthand. I don't know. But if you are a teacher in Germany and you're watching this video, just remember that the foreigners in your class are not going to necessarily know the abbreviations. They're not going to get the hefts right. And so I hope this will be educational for us all and we can help each other out more. But I understand as a teacher, man, you've got so much to get done and you're babysitting 25 kids or 20 kids. It's a very difficult and very important job. And so I understand that they can't be babysitting the parents.
Holding our hands all the time.
And I understand they don't know if the foreigners do know or they don't know. And it is our job. We're the foreigners and we chose to move here. So it is our job to learn, but it's so hard.
It was a big, steep learning curve.
Yeah, it was.
For something so simple as just what are they going to write in? What pen are they going to use? And
but it's not simple at all.
What page in what book?
I mean, that is very detailed. Yeah. Anyway, now a year and a half later, we're about to start the next school season. And
we know
the hardest parts we think are over. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, now all we'll have from here is whether they have a really difficult class or hard teacher, which are all normal things you can experience anywhere in the entire world. Right. So we can handle that. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to come back next week as I'm doing my first ever collaboration. And we're not going to share who it is. It's
Be a
going to
surprise.
actually have 2 collabs coming out with 2 of my most favorite YouTubers. I'm so excited about both of them, and that's what's going to be in the next few weeks are the collab videos. So make sure you come back, and we have some really good discussions. And all right, guys, so I hope you have a great start to your week tomorrow. If you're in Germany, that is. In the US, it will be a start to your week today. And we will
Another
see
one
you.
of those differences.
Yes. So we'll see you in the next video. All right.
Cheers.
Wait.
Alright, what should we do next?
So you guys are trying to figure out what all the different hefts are, and you're discussing it.
Yes. So what's that one, Grayson?
This is just,
Oh, that's your geography.
I only have one, and it's called.
Okay. And so we think we've come to the conclusion that an Arbeitsbuch and an Arbeitsheft are the same thing, just whether it's soft cover or hard cover. And that's like a workbook where they teach you things and then you have to do exercises in it. So we think Arbeitsbuch and Arbeitsheft are the same, just what form it's in. We think. And
But
so then
if you Google Arbeitsbuch, this comes up.
yeah. What's it say?
Employment record book. That's it.
Yeah, for employment records. Okay, so Grayson, in
record.
in your German class, what are the different hefts you have?
So I have a Deutschheft, a Aufsatzheft, and a Deutsch Grammatik.
Okay, and in music, what do you have in music?
In music, I have one.
Right, I
music
forgot about
book,
one.
and I think that's just. Well, she gives us mostly just Arbeitsblätter,
And-
so this is like.
And this
empty.
is a special kind of
Yeah, for
paper
notes.
for
Yeah,
writing
right,
your
I
notes.
forgot about that one.
And then I think it's more for like, Hefteinträge and stuff like that.
Okay,
because-
so you put your heft
Because it's
in yeah.
covered and you can write a lot.
Okay. And that's
So,
that's just a regular
That's-
number 28
yeah.
Lineatur. Okay.
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
And then
6,
just
7,
the regular Schnellhefte.
So far, we've
8
recorded.
different kinds of hefts.
Yeah.
What was
there
when
were
you
way
said
more
we
than
missed?
8.
The music.
The music one. Music. Okay.
One eternity later.
English. What do you have for English?
So in English, I have a Schnellhefte, like always. A Arbeitsheft, like you just write. There's a bunch of Aufgaben in there, and you can write stuff in there. Let's see, and then the Buch. The Buch.
And there's no
it's just-
exercises in
It's
that.
just
There's a
showing
lot
you.
of coloring on that book.
It just like shows you. I don't know.
Yeah, it teaches
Yeah.
you things. And then there might be Übung in there, but you don't write it in there. You write the
Like
answers.
for
in your
example,
own
here
heft.
5A or 5B, and then 9, 10A or
And those will go in
10B.
your Übungsheft or your Schulheft.
Yes.
Yeah. So then onto the Hefte. I have the Schulheft. This is all for school. So you use this for school. Like all the stuff for school are in there.
Yeah, the
But
exercises.
but this
that
is
you have to
my
do during school.
this is my second one. That's why it looks so empty. And then I have my Hausheft, which you do all of the
Your homework.
in. So
Homework
this is
Übung.
all of the homework, and
Hausaufgabe.
it's also my second the second heft. And then let's see, Katholisch. I just have one heft, and I probably should have gotten a Schnellhefter. There's tons of loose paper in there.
Okay, so it might have been good to have a Schnellheft also.
Yeah, probably. Let's see. Well, which ones we haven't done math yet, have we? All right. So math, Schnellhefter, and an Arbeitsheft or Hefteinträge-Heft. That's where I put all of my like notes in, or
Notes from class.
like I even have them numbered from 4 to 9. I didn't do 1, 2, 3. I don't really know why I didn't do the first 3, but. And then there's the Übungsheft where I do all of my homework in and all the stuff for school. Like
So that's like a
That's the
Schulheft
main one,
and
basically.
a Hausheft in one.
yeah, it's basically the main one. And the Arbeitsheft is just for all the Hefteinträge, all the notes.
Okay.
So that's